by Vanta coming after me by, and again, I suspect this was him, but I cannot prove it. Cannot prove it. But it was just extremely coincidental, obviously. A little too coincidental, that somebody started spreading a rumor on social media that I was going to show up at the lumpy homecoming, and I was going to expose the lumpies for the frauds they are. Absolutely. We're filming a documentary right now about the problem of pretendianism in the United States and all of the very real harm that happens as a result, all the way up into and including unaliving people in fake ceremonies and other things that are actual crimes. But it's a lot of harm in a lot of different ways and a lot of different arenas for us that they're causing. And one of the biggest examples we're going to make in that film is the Lumbee. Why in the hell would I do that? Right? But this rumor was spread all over TikTok that was going to happen. So all the lumpies got all riled up and up in arms. And so 99% of those threats that I got were coming from lumpy people. Okay? And it was all based on this rumor. And a few of them that were not so horrible, I actually wrote back and said, that was a rumor. That was gossip. That was not me. I never said such a ridiculous thing. I don't hang out with frauds and chicken feathers. Cool. We're doing a tour too. If anybody's interested in visiting with us, we've got an RV, and we're going to be driving around the country filming. And so, if anybody would like us to come and do a presentation for their tribe at one of your community buildings or something like that, we work with tribal attorney generals and IRBs and TIPOs and all that. And we go and give presentations on stuff, and we're going to be interviewing people, collecting victim impact statements, interviewing tribal people about, so what do you think about pretendian fraud? Do you think that's something we should be addressing? How do you think we should address it? Yeah. And then we're also going to be filming pretendians to put in the film as examples. Sorry, that's not something I'm interested in doing. And so I'm not going to be showing up at your homecoming. Enjoy yourselves. Have a great time. And did anybody even notice that as this gossip was being spread around TikTok, that none of it came from me? There's not a single screenshot anywhere of me ever saying, I'm going to go to the lumpy homecoming. Absolutely. We're filming a documentary right now about the problem of pretendianism in the United States and all of the very real harm that happens as a result, all the way up into and including unaliving people in fake ceremonies. And one of the biggest examples we're going to make in that film is the Lumbee. Yeah. And then we're also going to be filming pretendians to put in the film as examples. None, because it never happened.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
Because it's a lie that was being spread as gossip and rumor in order to rile people up. And it worked. They're so gullible. So gullible. They all fell for it without a single question. Never even noticed that none of it was coming from me, right?
Taaf, you seem like you have a lying problem. I keep telling y'all that you can never hide what's in your heart, because what you put in will come out. This is what white supremacy does. It infiltrates spaces and targets its victims. She's doing exactly what she was designed to do the moment her ancestors touched the Americas. Infiltrate and cause destruction. It's not a coincidence that she's targeting Afro-Indigenous people. I see things. I noticed you going after a Lumbee girl months ago. So you deciding this was the time to officially go after the Lumbee tribe is no surprise to me. This is a trend for you. Pun intended, and neither is your surrounding crew.
If you can explain that to me, I'm willing to listen. Because I do not want to be anti-black. I try very hard not to be anti-black. I'm trying to learn how to be a better ally, right? Myself. And I'm sure that I fail at times. But all the Darvo tactics that are being used against American Indian people now, no matter what we look like, is, I mean, yeah, I don't know what we're supposed to do about that, right? I'm not going to self-flagellate because, because somebody else wants to be Cherokee and can't. That's not my fault. So it's weird that all the lookerism that we're getting, all the colorism, all the bigotry, all the...
Micah B., I've seen you in many spaces and you're always trying to feign ignorance when you're called out on your blatant racism. I want to point out something I found interesting. Micah, I know you're a white woman, just like Taaf here. Once again, your racism and anti-blackness is showing. Colorism is for people of color. Only people of color can experience the harms of colorism. I've said this before, white people do not experience colorism because colorism comes from racism. You can't experience the harms of a system that was created for your benefit. I'm just going to fast forward through this part.
You're not going to hear me talking about WABOs here. Okay? Because even though I get that that's a pretty simple term, somebody who wants to be an Aboriginal person, that doesn't really strike me as racist. However, it feels peripherally racist to me. Yeah, and I just don't want to use it. I'm just not comfortable using it. So I'd like to talk about things kind of in a more factual way without any kind of slur. We don't need to be using any ad hominem slurs or insults to talk about what's actually happening. Let's see how intelligent we can be as a community, and let's see if we can have civil, respectful dialogues about a problem that we see, that we want to address, without having to insult people in the process. Can we do that? That's a challenge I'm laying down. Let's see if we could do that. I know it seems nearly impossible anymore for people to be...
Micah is exposing herself. Keep watching. I'm about to make a point in a few seconds.
Civil to each other in any place, even in real life, especially on social media. But let's see if we could try. So I don't know whether or not Hotep is any kind of a slur. Is that a slur? Is that not a slur? What should we say? What should we use?
I've heard, can you hear me on this?
Yeah, there's a little bit of an echo, but I can hear you.
You remember what I've told you about that wobble word? It's become a euphemism for the N-word. And once again, they keep clarifying that they are referring solely to black people when they say that word. Micah has a history of engaging in anti-black live streams on TikTok. A lot of the live streams I've posted, she can be found in the comment section. Here's JB Good under her Neil account using that wobble word in another post and displaying her racism in the comments under her video. She's another white woman cosplaying as a Native American. So many white folks cosplaying in spaces while being harmful. Ask these white folks what they are doing to stop the systems their ancestors put in place since they want to pretend to be one of you. Nothing is the answer. So, no JB Good. There is no we. You're not like us. You are a white woman cosplaying in a space where you don't belong. You don't experience the harms that dark indigenous Native Americans experience. You aren't going to be racially profiled. You won't get stopped by the police for looking suspicious. You are a white woman. You don't experience the harms that black and brown communities experience. They use the excuse of, oh, we're just talking about the pretendians when we use the word wabo, but they can be seen using it towards any black person as they barge into several live streams. It's become so bad that everyone has noticed, from the Pan-Africans to regular African Americans to even some Africans who do not claim to be indigenous or Native American. So while this is problematic, we're not going to use this as an excuse for this. But you can clearly see Micah is referring to Pan-Africans in this photo, which sheds light on her covert racism that I've noticed all over the app.